Welcome back to Red and Blue. I'm Caitlin Huey-Burns. The U.S. is expected to hit its debt limit on Thursday, according to a warning to Congress from Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. The current national debt stands at more than $31 trillion. America's total borrowing limit is just slightly higher at $31.4 trillion. Yellen says once the limit is reached, the Treasury will start taking, quote, extraordinary measures to prevent a default. In an interview Sunday, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said he wants to work with the Biden administration to negotiate raising the debt ceiling.
I believe we can sit down with anybody who wants to work together. I believe this president could be that person. That's the conversation I had with the president. I want to sit down with them now so there is no problem. I'm sure he knows there's places that we can change and put America on a trajectory that we save these entitlements instead of put them into bankruptcy the way they have been spending.
And CBS News congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane joins us here in D.C. with more. Scott, good to see you. So you heard Kevin McCarthy saying he wants to negotiate with Biden, but the White House is saying we don't negotiate on the debt ceiling. So how does this move forward?
This is not the best trajectory, right? Yeah. We looked into what those extraordinary measures would be to buy us some time first. The Treasury Department says they'd stop payments to some retirement programs, the Thrift Savings Plan, which is the federal government version of a 401k, the kind of money you can withhold for now and then make up for later because that money isn't needed today. That buys time. But the thing is, and there's really no getting around this, we are 3 days out from the deadline. This is the time for the conversations to begin, and they are nowhere near starting the talks. We heard from Democrat Abigail Spanberger of Virginia, who has met the middle ground on a lot of issues in her time in Congress. Here's what she had to say about the debt ceiling and the talks so far.
Might we get to a point where the United States doesn't pay its debts? Might we get to a point where the full faith and credit of the United States government is downgraded? The fact that we're even earnestly worrying that we could reach that place creates instability, certainly here at home, but beyond that, absolutely on global economic markets.
So both sides are talking past each other. Democrats say they won't negotiate on this. Republicans say they want to sit down and talk. We're 3 days out. This is going to be very 2011-like, where we see a near breach because we're getting just weeks away now.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking about that because that was the last time that when I was covering Capitol Hill, this seems to be the same thing all over again. The difference here, though, is that we just went through this huge speaker battle for Kevin McCarthy just to get the votes to be able to become speaker. Now he has the task of guiding this conference through to agree on a debt ceiling. Is there any sense that this group that has been resistant to McCarthy is willing to budge on anything, or is this part of those negotiations to get him
exactly. This was part of the negotiations. This was one of the wedge issues they were trying to iron out behind closed doors, is what to do about the debt ceiling dispute when it comes down the road. And we're down that road now. And Abigail Spanberger, I think, crystallized the concern so many people have, which is if we're even talking about this, there's a lack of certainty that could rattle the markets and could rattle the economy. It did in 2011 when they got near a deadline, and that's the reality we face now.
Yeah, I mean, this is not just a political fight. This has real-life implications for people. I also want to talk about some of the other drama that's been unfolding on Capitol Hill, which is the controversy over George Santos, the embattled New York Republican who says he's not resigning. McCarthy earlier today said that he didn't really know about his resume, but he had questions about it. Last week, McCarthy said that it wasn't his role to push Santos out of office. It seems like he's giving him a lifeline.
This doesn't seem to be Kevin McCarthy's ideal world, where he is 2 weeks into his speakership and he's getting questions every day, if not every hour, about George Santos. Not the message House Republicans want to be on right now. Let's hear more in so many words from Kevin McCarthy late today.
When were you first made aware about some of these allegations around Santos? Was it before it came out publicly in the media? Were you given any indication that there might be something amiss there?
On which part?
Any of it. Resume, all the things that he's...
I never know all about his resume or not, but I always had a few questions about it.
So there's one big rhetorical question right now, Caitlin. How much political pain can George Santos endure and stay standing? And can his House Republican conference endure and stay standing? Because this question's not going away.
Exactly. I mean, it just seems like almost an impossible situation, or an unsustainable situation, I should say, for Santos, because he actually isn't addressing a lot of these issues. He's avoiding reporters like you in the hallway. We've seen you up there. So what's at stake for McCarthy here? I mean, in New York, if Santos were to resign, that would create some problems as well, because it would be an open seat, right?
A Democratic favored seat. I mean, there's three different parties to this: Republicans, George Santos, and Democrats, all three of whom benefit from George Santos staying in office. Republicans keep one of their needed votes in the majority. Santos keeps a job and a paycheck. Democrats have had a field day politically beating up on George Santos. So there's a benefit to him staying around to three pretty important parties to the U.S. House, both political parties and Santos himself. That's why he might stay. But this political beating he's taking is something a heavyweight champ would suffer with.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest question. And, for McCarthy, going back to the debt ceiling, I mean, these are the votes that he needs, right? I mean, it kind of speaks to the tenuous situation that McCarthy is in, that he can't force a member out because every vote counts and he needs every one of them. 5
votes can kill anything. If Santos resigned, it could be down to 4 votes. That is just an outsized amount of power to give any tiny faction of the U.S. House Republican Conference.
All right, well, 2 years of this, I suppose. Scott MacFarlane, I know you'll be there for all of it. Thank you for joining us.